Hello everybody and welcome back to another episode of Microsoft Flight Simulator, and today we are back with the Airbus H-135 Helicopter project that can be found on the FlightSim.2's website. A link for it will be down in the description below, and there is also a sound mod that we're checking out for it today that will also be in the description below. The sound mod is by a different party, but I think the two combined, they're both on the right track. I haven't flown it yet. I've just been looking through the changelog, and it seems like there's been a lot of changes to it. Everything from graphical changes, flight instrument changes, as well as flight model behavior. So we're going to check that out and see what it was. Now, for those of you who haven't seen the last one, I'll put a link for it down in the description below for the previous video if you want comparison. But the long and short of it is in the previous video, the flight model was very, very choppy. It was very, very basic. Not a whole lot of control. For example, trying to do horizontal flight, flying it, sideways, if you will, was not easy. You couldn't really, and what I mean by not easy is I don't think you could do it. The aircraft would always want to turn and bank and things like that, even with the tail rotor input. The other thing is tail rotor input wasn't particularly required at really any particular stage. So the things that I'm looking to change is like, for example, in low speed or definitely in transition, there should be a lot of tail rotor, a lot of cyclic input required in order to keep the aircraft, stable. Helicopters are very tricky aircraft. Now, I'm not a professional by any means, guys. I want to preface that my previous experience with helicopters comes from DCS World using the UH-1 Huey. Now, the UH-1 Huey is a very well-modeled aircraft for DCS. Now, obviously, I'm not comparing the two. That's not my point. I'm simply letting you guys know what my background with helicopter simulation is. So that's my only purpose to that. There's no comparison here. I want to remind everyone this is a free project. You can download it absolutely free of charge. And I think the developers, just by looking at it from the previous version, it already looks significantly better. Now, if we're taking a look at the textures, in the previous version, the paint and everything was extremely glossy. I mean, it was like this thing had 25 layers of marine wax on it, with a high gloss sealant on top of it. It was intense. And so the texturing and the gloss has definitely been reduced, looks much more realistic, much more lively in what you would expect to see. The reflections are very, very nice. If you look at the nose here, you can see the reflections down from the skid shadows, but it's not overpowering or overbearing. It looks very nice. The rotors obviously still need a lot of work. You can see the very plain detail on the rotors, but it looks like this aircraft is definitely getting some love just from a little bit here. If we take her to the side here a little bit, more of the side angle, again, back in by the tail rotor, you start seeing that degradation in the texture quality. A little bit of aliasing here coming in where the boom, I guess, I don't know what this is called, but meets the fuselage of the aircraft here. But again, as you get more and more forward, the detail starts to increase a bit. But again, this is still very, very early development and free of charge, so I mean, we're not going to ask too much here. The shadow mapping seems to be right on point. I don't know if that comes from simulation or if that's something that's part of the development of the plane itself. I'm not quite sure what generates the shadow. So as far as, whose responsibility it is to make the shadows nice, right? That's what I don't understand yet. But anyway, so we've seen the exterior. Let's jump into the interior and see what we got going on in there. All right, so stepping into the business part of this aircraft. Now, it does load up, it looks like. I have not touched it yet, so it looks like it loads up with the batteries on. But one thing I did see in the changelog was... Is that it? Yeah. Is that now you can turn the batteries off. So that's really handy. Obviously that's more of a realism factor there. Now, the one thing I haven't seen yet is how you shut the engine off. But we'll take a look at that when it comes time. But let's go ahead and bring the batteries back up. And then we're going to close the doors. And you can see some of the cockpit textures looks like they might have improved. I don't remember the seats being quite this detailed on the previous flight. So it looks like there are things that are getting some love here. The floorboard looks a little bit better. And again, very clearly in early development, but this is new, the G3000 integration. So let's scroll down here for a second and take a peek at this. Oh, before I worry about doing that, they actually have custom cockpit views that have been added. So this is Control 1, takes you up to your PFD and MFD. Control 2 takes you down to the G3000. Control 3, I'm not sure where that goes. Okay, so it looks like, well, let's see here. I had my camera pointing down. It looks like controls 1 and 2 are the big one right now. So if we go back to control 1, and then we can come back up. Let's step down to control 2. Now you have flight model settings. This is interesting. So Xbox, basic, and advanced. I'm definitely going to keep on advanced. That's what I'm interested in. Minimums and everything like that. So it looks like the rest of the functionality is probably going to be similar. Ooh. AOA on, wind option, comm channel spacing. That's interesting. Okay. Cool. But it looks like a lot of... Well, how do I get to the MFD settings now? Back? No. Oh, it's over here. Okay. So if I want to go here... But if I wanted to bring that menu back up, I don't know how we would do that. Not sure. Monitor? Is that what that is? Okay. Mic 1 and 2. Okay. Changes the channel. Transponder. Okay. Going for 12. Turn it on. Alright. So we got a transponder. That's good. VFR, auto click. Yep. Alright, so what I don't know how to do now, though, is get back to where the previous screen was. I'm not seeing anything else. All we got is back to PFD settings. That's kind of a drag. Can I change this? Because it doesn't... No, it doesn't look like it. Alright, well, I mean, I'm not going to waste too much time on that, so... Clearly I changed something. Alright, so let's come over here. And 3D vision, I bet that's synthetic terrain. Yep, you can see the texturing of the ground below us. Alright, so that's kind of cool. I haven't seen... Oh, what did I just do? Oh, what happened? Did the battery just die? Well, I'll be darned. Alright. Okay, kind of cool simulation. That was fast. I don't feel like it should have died quite that quick, but... Alright, well, let me do a restart on the load. Let me reload the aircraft, and I guess we'll be back. Well, no, because I don't know. We probably can't contact ground. Yeah, no, not with the radio's off. Okay. Well, yeah, I'll be right back. Alright, so we're back in the seat here. This were initially parked it. I had used an app to move the aircraft last time. But hopefully we don't take this thing out when we crash. But let's get it started real quick. So we do Control E to start it. I'll let you guys hear those sounds. And there's the throttle coming up. Whoa, why are we lifting off? The collective. Okay, so that was interesting. Make sure I didn't land on anything. Alright, so let's see here. Okay, so yeah, that was interesting. It looks like it doesn't map right away, so when you first get in the seat of this thing, make sure you cycle your collective and your throttles so that way the aircraft knows where it actually is, right? Because my collective was in the down position and yet the aircraft took off. So something to be thinking about there. Make sure you cycle your controls. Alright, so let's come back to what we were doing here and see what kind of functionality we have. It looks like we have pretty much everything. I'm just going to throw in a real quick flight plan. We're not actually going to fly it. I'm just testing out functionality here. That's literally it. Give me just a minute here. I need to remember where we are. I sort of just picked a random spot, truth be told. Alright, so we're at Kilo Mike Hotel. Oops. Backspace. Echo. Enter. And going to Kilo Foxtrot Sierra Delta. Kilo Foxtrot Sierra Delta. enter. Alright, and I just want to see if it appears up on the PFD. Boom! There it is. And then what I was looking at right before we had the dead battery, when I click it, this aircraft popped up, but... Oh! Oh, that's how you pan it. And this must be our zoom out and zoom in. Very cool. Alright, so you can enter a flight plan. Neat. Alright, and so let's come back down to Control 2 here. Turn that synthetic view back on. I like the synthetic terrain, I always have. Let's turn, our transponder back on. Back to home. Now see, now it stays here. I don't know how we even got to PFD settings, honestly. It's really interesting. I'll have to figure that out. I'll mess with that later on. We'll check that out in the later videos. Okay, well, let's see how she flies. And are we still on that advanced mode? Yep. Alright, cool. Alright, so give me 2 seconds here and we'll get off the ground. Alright, so let's see about bunking out of here. Alright, so, there we go. Can add some collective. Much nicer. Alright, okay, so I'm actually having to fly this thing now. And as you can tell, it's been a while since I've flown a helicopter. Okay. Trying to just do a quick lift and get it stable here. And it's... Here we go. Oh, no, 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 no. Yeah, you gotta fly this thing, man. This is great. This is wonderful. Why is my camera so far... There we go. Doesn't help. Alright, so let's be a little screwy here. And let's take her to the side here. Eee, come on, baby. Isn't there a fuel truck nearby? Yes, it's right there. Let's try some... Cool. And then I should be able to counter that with some left tail rotor. Nice. And let's see if we can bring it all the way around with that tail rotor. Correcting the pitch with the cyclic. Ah, come on. Ooh. There we go. Neat. This is awesome. I'm digging this like a lot. Alright, so and this is how it should be. At that low speed, you're gonna need a lot of tail rotor to counteract that main rotor. Alright, so let's just... I'm just going to pitch it forward a little bit. Not adding any further collective, so it's going to dip for a second until we get back into ground effect. And then what should happen is we should be able to just float along in ground effect. The aircraft should begin accelerating. And eventually reach a speed that it can take off. Although we're really low. I may not be giving enough collective, so let me try just a little bit more. I'm trying to avoid that tree. There it goes. So about 60 knots. 60 knots it started to pick up on its own like that. Very cool. Alright, let's really give it some muscle here. Adding quite a bit of collective. And she's flying. And as we get more forward momentum, I'm not requiring as much input from the tail rotor. We're at 100 and almost 110 knots. This is great. What a fantastic job. Massive improvement. Massive improvement. This is great. Alright, so the next thing I'm going to try is I'm going to see if I can orbit. Now, I wasn't very good at this to begin with, so no laughing at me, please. Alright, I have feelings too. I mean, kind of. But let's pick that tree right there in the middle of that field there. Sort of off by itself. And let's see if I can get an orbit going around it. Probably going to have to pull some power off here. Oh. I'm going to see if I can get it. Come on. Alright, so we're down to about 40 knots. Just trying to hold a relative position around it. Nope, I'm getting too much rotor. Like I said, I wasn't very good with this to begin with, but I've gotten pretty good with it in DCS, but man, it's been so long. I'm primarily just trying to use the tail rotor to keep that orbit around, and then adjusting the pitch, but I think we're descending. Yeah, we're descending, so I'm not holding it very well, but I'm not, again, I'm no professional at it, but you guys can see that this is constant work. I'm fighting it. I mean, it's see, now I'm moving more closer into a hover than an orbit. So again, it's behaving very, very naturally. And if you look at something I just really paid attention to, the windshield textures, you can see at certain moments reflection coming off of them from the PFDs and MFDs. See sort of some lighting right there. If you look where the water is, see that reflection coming off the PFD. So, a lot of work coming into it. She's got a ways to go, but the flight model is 100 times what it was last time. 100 times what it was last time. I mean, this is really good. This is enjoyable. I feel like I'm flying a helicopter, and it's requiring input, and it's requiring me to actually fly the airplane. It's not, I don't feel like, for example, it has that setting. I don't feel like I'm playing on an Xbox. Alright. Well, so we've flown around a little bit, tested out a couple of the features. Oh, see, here I go. Forgetting you have to fly a helicopter. And I'm sitting here dancing the rudders a little bit as or the tail rotor as she starts to accelerate. I'm going to keep saying rudders, guys. I'm sorry. I know me. I've met me. Been around me for about 38 years. It's going to keep happening. But this is really good. Really enjoying the crap out of this. So I guess last step here is let's land it. It looks like we're right over our airfield here. Let's see if I can kick it around. Nice! Oh yeah, we can, man. Give me a Gatling gun and we got some strafing happening here. There's our airfield right over there. Let's buzz the road. Come on. Man, they're tricky to fly. You don't always know. Yeah, see? No. Come on, helicopter. Quit messing with me. It's hard. Sometimes flying the helicopters, it gets hard to visualize what you have to do. So, for example, what I had to do there to get it straightened out, I had to use the left tail rotor, but right cyclic. I had to first level it out, and then now I'm correcting with the right cycle or right tail rotor to get her to fly more or less nose on. What I'd like to see I don't, is a side slip indicator. That'd be nice. But again, not complaining at all. It just it would be helpful to try to figure out what I need to do. Because the other thing I've always noticed about helicopters, same thing in DCS, is sometimes it feels like you're crabbing, but then when you look at the gauges, you're not. You know, so I think that's just the nature of the visual aspect of flying a helicopter. I could be wrong. I don't know. Maybe it's just me. Maybe I'm going crazy. I am married with three girls, so you know. Even one of the dogs is neutered, so I don't have a whole lot of balance in my life. Alright, so I'm going to start pulling that collective off. There's the descending now. And see, as we transition into that low speed, man, she starts fighting you. Okay, come on, helicopter. Doesn't help that my rudder pedals are literally moving on my carpet. Drives me crazy. We're getting wood flooring put in next month, and at first I was like, I don't really want wood flooring, but thinking more on it, I think in here at least it's going to be nice, because I can put some rubber feet on these and be done with it. Okay, so skip the taxi part, because that requires much more practice to maintain than what I'm willing to show, because I'm sure you guys are over it. So let's just get her touched down. What do you think? Should we use that spot right there? Think I can put it down right there? Whoa! Stupid track IR. Knock it off. Alright. Let's bring her around. Trying to show off here, and I don't know if that's going to work real well. As showing off rarely does, right? Come on. Alright, come on. Let's be friends. We got this, girl. No, not yet. Not yet. Come on, man. This is why flying a helicopter drives me nuts. The other thing is, like, the trim, too. Obviously, you know, helicopters do have a trim. And I don't know if this is implemented yet in this one or not. I haven't really tried that out yet, so... Oh, come on, we're right there. Stop it. You know where this would be a fun place to fly this one is damn, I'm trying to get it on the landing pad, and it's like I'm scared to push it forward because then I'm going to overcorrect like that. But anyway, we'll just set it down here. And there's the ground effect. Oof! Like dropping a piano. Okay. And then we pull the throttle back. Okay. Now, I don't know if turning the battery off will terminate the engine. Doesn't appear so. So again, I haven't figured out how to turn the engine off. That's something we'll have to look at. Anyways, let me know what you guys think. I highly recommend you guys give this a shot. I think you'll really like it. Massive improvement from the previous version. Massive improvement. Just make sure on that G3000 there that you set it to that advanced mode. That really made a difference. I'm not going to bother checking out the other two because, quite frankly, not to sound crappy, I don't care. You know, I'm looking for the more realism, the better. So let me know what you guys think. I really am curious what the community's thoughts are on this, because I think it's come just miles from the previous version. This was a lot of fun to fly. It was challenging, and I think as someone who's maybe interested in flying helicopters, it's a great place to start. And as the flight model progresses, so will your training, if you will. You know, you'll be able to progress with it. So I think this is a great time to get into helicopters in Microsoft Flight Simulator, and I think this is going to be a great tool to help you guys out with that. So again, let me know what you guys think. Be sure to hit that like and subscribe button. Ring that bell for notification of future content if you're enjoying the content. And as always, stay safe, stay healthy, have a wonderful weekend, and I'll see you guys in the next one.